all he felt about him, because the Equalizer and the Carolina Crusher were out in the quarterfinals to go head-to-head at Louisville, Kentucky's Freedom Hall in this final event for the 1989 TNT Monster Truck Challenge season. David Morris and Gary Porter had battled throughout the season, and the Equalizer had somewhat had the best of it, had beaten Carolina Crusher more times than the Crusher had been able to get the upper hand. However, Gary Porter was strong, consistent all year long, won some 70% of his head-to-head matchups, so Crusher wasn't fodder, but Equalizer had his number. David Morris and the Equalizer putting an exclamation point on his head-to-head season with Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher, getting an impressive win at Louisville. But Porter knew there's always next year.
Gary, a super job all year long, nothing to be ashamed of.
Thank you, Army. You know, I was wanting to win the points real bad. Equalizers come in and took it away from me. I'm not giving up. I'll be back next year with a new, stronger truck and faster.
But the highly competitive David Morris was not satisfied. A certain green and black truck still stood in the way.
Well, I'm going to There's one truck left that I need to put out tonight, and that's supposed to be the most feared monster truck, but the only fear you have is fear itself, and that's the Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger, but I'm going to put him out here tonight.
How about this kid with the Carolina Crusher? He gave you all you wanted all year long. Can't take anything away from him.
He has been nipping at my heels all year long.
He's going on the trailer, and you're going into the next round. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
There it is, the fastest, baddest monster truck in the world, the Equalizer. But moving ahead was the Gravedigger. Before he got a shot at David Morris, Dennis Anderson's first task was defeating an up-and-coming superstar, Mike Wine, driver of the Outlaw.
Give me Digger. Well, the final race of the year is not going to cut slack for anybody. Standing with me right now, the lone hope for the Ford camps, Mike Wine. You say you're going to hammer all these Chevrolets on the final race with a Ford. I don't know if they're believing that or not.
Yeah, I waited all of them to beat their trucks last night. Gravedigger beat his first and tore it up, so I think he was afraid to run me in the first round last night.
Wait a minute here. Dennis Anderson with the Gravedigger.
Hold on a minute. No way. The Ford's not going to dominate tonight. It's going to be a Chevrolet, and it's going to be the Gravedigger.
Takes 10 Chevrolets to even touch one Ford. He'll have his chance. We'll be coming up next round. Instead of running his mouth, let him run his truck.
You heard it going into the break. Both guys very cocky, confident, aggressive, and not afraid to tell the other one all about it. Mike Wine, the Jersey Outlaw Ford, and the Gravedigger Chevrolet, Dennis Anderson. Even kind of a North-South Civil War. The Jersey Outlaw coming obviously from New Jersey, Gravedigger, a Virginia-based truck. Side by side. Looks like a missile. He was headed out of Freedom Hall, straight up and down. Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger, watch it in slow-mo. Can you believe it? Wow, straight up and down, 90-degree angle. Luckily for Anderson, the bounce sent him forward, but Jersey Outlaw got the win over Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger. One of the most wild runs of 1989 came at the end. Dennis Anderson pointing her toward the stars as Gravedigger flat came out of the ground and looked like he was headed out the route. Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger did not get the win, but did, once again, typify what the Gravedigger is all about. Bonsai run.
Well, Dennis, you're notorious for the wild rides. The last ride at 89. What can you say?
I know it. Hey, I tell you what, I stood her up pretty good there. I knew that I was going to get a lot of air. I already said this lane over here was a home wrecker, and it stood me up pretty good, so I knew I was going to get a lot of hang time. But I wasn't worried about hang time then. I was worried about getting the wheels back on the ground.
That's what actually turns you on. That's what really pumps you, isn't it? When you take the wilder the ride, the better you like it.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I love to show off in front of the crowd. That's what the crowd wants, blood and guts. That's what they're going to get.
The wild run by the Gravedigger overshadowed a huge upset victory for the Ford driver, Mike Wine.
Underneath. What do you do in a situation like that? Blood and guts is what he calls it. That's just about what it was out there, Mike.
Both of us have been after each other's blood and guts all year long. We gave it everything we got. I wasted the spare radiator I got, tore up a couple steering components, and I seen the whole undercarriage
of his truck?
Me and him are just out for each other. I'm not even sure who won yet, but that's a beautiful race.
It was you. You're coming back. Hang in there. You could win the last one of the year.
I'm trying. I'm going to give it everything I got for every Ford person that stood behind me all year long. Like I said before, I've lost a lot this year, but I've learned a lot to come back next year, and our truck's going to be number one.
However, in 1989, number one was the equalizer. Here he is against King Crunch. Crunch only had rear-wheel drive, but Equalizer still laid down an outstanding shot to move into the Monster Smash final. Well, you know, race fans in all form of motorsports, where stock cars or stock trucks, anything that has that Ford, Chevy possibility, that's one of the things the fans love to see. And in the final race of 1989 on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge, that's what the fans at Louisville, Kentucky got. The Ford of Jersey Outlaw, Mike Wine from Pennsauken, New Jersey. The Chevrolet of David Morris and the Equalizer from Tennessee. Closing the year with a bang, David Morris's Equalizer wrapped up the World Championship in style with back-to-back victories in successive nights at Louisville, Kentucky, and the young man who really hadn't shown all that much emotion in his rookie season let some out right there at the end. His lovely wife Nancy on hand for a big hug. Hey, maybe at last David Morris can get over the superstition he's had with the silver flag and is willing to carry it one final time.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, kind of a unique situation here. We've been teasing him all year long. He's superstitious, would not carry the flag. But you get to keep it the longest of anybody. You get to keep it till next year.
That's a great feeling. I'm glad to have his flag now. I didn't want it at first, but I've got it now, and I hope we can keep it.
So the Equalizer, driven by the sensational rookie David Morris, claims the World Championship on the 1989 TNT Monster Truck Challenge. Chris, what can we look forward to next week?
Next week here on ESPN, we're going to highlight the first weekend of racing in 1990 in Charleston, West Virginia. Gravedigger and the Jersey Outlaws did a lot of boasting at the end of the 1989 season about their prowess and how great they were. Well, now it's time for them to either put up or shut up.
We'll see them in action, as well as the Buffalo Tremor and several other of top trucks, the superstars of monster truck racing, right here on ESPN. Till next time, for Chris Chapman, I'm Scott Douglas, and we'll see you here on the ESPN TNT.